to another Mission Shakeup. I'm your host, Rebecca Lindhow, Adult and Children's Ministries Consultant for WMU of North Carolina, and I am at Camp Munda Vista, where we just got through having our prisoners retreat for 2022, and it was such a special time in the Lord together. I was so nervous about how it was going to go, and I really had no idea because I'd never been to this retreat or volunteered at this retreat before, and so I was just surrounded by love. The women who came as our guests were just the sweetest souls. And one of them told me at the end of it, she said, I've never in my life been able to let my guard down and breathe like I have this weekend. And so just the idea of never in her life has she been able to just rest in the Lord. She went on about that and how this place was such a special place to her because of that. And she said, and now I'm going to go out in the real world and I can feel my guard going back up. And we just have to pray that these ladies, as they leave Munda Vista, that they will, that their hearts will remain soft, and that they will be able to, as we gave them the encouragement to do, to grow towards the light. We said, why do daisies grow through the cracks in concrete? Because they grow towards the light. And I said, we can all grow in hard places. And so that is my prayer, that they will continue to grow in the Lord in hard places. Speaking of hard places, another place that is very hard-hearted towards the gospel is in Central Asia, and that is where our missionaries, the Martins, whose names have been changed for safety's sake, are serving. And it's a very interesting story that they have to share, because it's not the happy ending that many of us want to see with our missionaries. Of course, they are somewhere where they are serving now and they are learning the culture, but they lived in a country in Central Asia where they were very happy, and they saw God really working in their lives. They were doing refugee ministry and starting a local church, or had started a local church and had joined with a church plant there to help it grow. And then the story goes that there was seeds of division in the church, and they had to ask a church member to go. And that church member really just did everything that he could to smear the name of the church and the name of the missionaries in public. He even leaked untrue stories to the news media. And so this is a question for us to ask our ladies. How do you continue to serve amongst people who are hard-hearted? How do you continue to serve even when there's not always agreement? How do you continue to serve in a place that seems to not want you? And it turns out that in the story, the man George ended up getting COVID and dying, and the same people that he hurt were the people who did his funeral, and they were able to share the gospel at his funeral, and 4 people asked to know more about Jesus through that. And so even through those hard places, we have to learn to forgive. We have to learn to be the light that Christ calls us to be. And it wasn't too much longer after that the country kicked out all of its missionaries, and so now they are somewhere in Europe, and we still don't know where the Martins are in Europe, but and they're learning the culture, and they're learning the language there, and that God ended up placing them in a place that had many Central Asian refugees. And so they actually were able to use some of their language skills to talk to the people that live right around them. So God has a plan, and His plans are good. Even when we can't see the light, it is there, and it will not be overcome by the darkness. So this month, my suggestion for you is to take a note from the children's ministry book. And one of the things that they do is they have a recipe for hummus in their children's ministry book. You can make the hummus, but you can also buy hummus, and that would be a taste of the Middle East and Central Asia. There, they also suggest eating it with pita bread, which is also a yummy treat for anybody. Also, posting a video, not a video, a recipe for a tea that they have in Central Asia. They have lots of different kinds of teas. I believe that it says, if you look at your fast facts for Central Asia. It shows you a TFAX thing, and it says that in the country that the Martins were in, that they only put milk, I think, in their tea once a week. Like I guess that's like a special treat. So I'm posting a recipe for milk tea, and the interesting thing about this recipe is that it's milk, black tea, and water, which is also water with water. Um, and then you add a pinch of salt and a pinch of sugar. So a little bit of sweet, a little bit of salty. So I would encourage you to even try that with your ladies. Another food that is really big in Central Asia is dried apricots and other dried fruits and nuts. And they especially like walnuts. So those are all tastes that you can bring to your meeting to help the ladies to kind of immerse themselves in the culture. Another thing that you might want to try is in your magazine, also in the Missions Mosaic. It lists the five. But more countries, I think it says 5 or 12. Is it? Well, I'm not going 10, but it's 5 plus 12. And it's asking what countries really are Central Asia, and it really will surprise some of your ladies what those countries are, because you think about uh, Kyrgyzstan and Azerbaijan and Turkmenistan, and there's a couple more that were in the five original. I can't remember off the top of my head, and those are ones that you would normally consider. But then they said that the Southern Baptist missionaries also consider 7 more countries to be Central Asian because of the language similarities. So I would suggest printing out those countries on a sheet, just a Word document, but then adding some countries like Lebanon and Greece and Saudi Arabia and other countries mixing in there with them, and making two groups of that, and have 2 groups and have them sort. Give them, I don't know, a minute to sort them all out, and the group that can sort what is Central Asia from what's not Central Asia first wins. And, I don't know what they win, whatever you want them to win. Maybe they win some non bread. That's another thing that you can look up and give your ladies a taste of is non bread. Pita is pretty close. And that would be a good representation. But naan is it's just, I think, a little bit softer than pita. So that's another challenge. So maybe you could open up your meeting with this race to the right place, you could call it, and let them try that out. The video is not yet up for the month of October. So I would encourage you to check that out on December the 1st. I mean, on October the 1st, and it will be up there with bells on. If you go to wmu.com/this month, it will bring you up to all of those resources. And don't forget to check out your mission spotlight for adults under there too. If you can find the video under children. After you type in this month, of course, on that same web page, there is headings for each age group. I want to suggest to you that you go to the children's tab to watch the video, and then go to the adult tab to do the mission spotlight, because that will give you an update on the Martins and what's going on with them right now. And as always, I like to do a little bit more of a deep dive for you, and I like to stalk our missionaries on the internet. And so I looked up Sam Martin, just put in our missionary's name and the way he spelled Martin, and a Twitter account popped up for him. And so it looks like, if this is the same Sam Martin, which I'm fairly certain it is, um, it says that he loves to share the good news of Jesus Christ with Muslim people in Central Asia and in Germany. So that looks like maybe where they were relocated. You can look up his Twitter account yourself if you have Twitter. So that's another way that you can find out a little bit more about your missionaries, and if this really is his account, which like I said, I believe that it is. Then he also recently lost his dad. So we want to be in prayer for Sam over that too. So I hope that you enjoy all of these things. I wish I had a video to show you, but it's not out yet this month, and I am heading on vacation. So pray for us as we travel to Florida, and I will see you next month. Have a great missions week. Bye.